x squared plus 14x plus 49. Example 2. So in my first term, is it a square positive? Second term, square positive. My first term's a square of what? X times x, so just x. It's a square of x. My second term's a square of what? Okay, so that's your a and your b. X is a, b is 7. And then ask yourself, is the middle term equal to 2 times 7 times x? Yes, because it's 14x. This is a perfect square. And then what does it factor to? X plus 7 squared. And that's it. We're done. Now factoring has a built-in conscience easer. You can ease your conscience anytime you factor something. Why? You don't have to worry if you did it right. Why is that? Because that's great. You can always check yourself. You can actually just multiply this out and you should get exactly what you started. That's because of the relationship between multiplying and factoring. So you never have to sweat a problem in factoring. If you get an answer, you can always check yourself. Let's do one more example. Let's see. Let's do x to the 4th minus 12x squared plus 36. Okay, so again, here's our form. So first of all, what's the first thing that we might notice about this one? There might be a couple of answers. The 12x squared in the middle is what? It's negative in this case. The first two examples were positive, right? But are you also talking about x squared being in the middle instead of being on the front? Okay, so let's ask ourselves, is x to the 4th a square of something? Yes. What's it a square of? X squared, right? It's not x to the 4th can be written as x squared quantity squared minus, I'm just going to write everything else the way that it is. So we can see that our first term is in fact a square. It's x squared that is squared. And then our last term, is this a square? So my a in this case is what? X squared. And then my b is 6. So is the middle term equal to 2 times 6, or negative 2 times 6, times x squared? Yes. This is also a perfect square. It is a perfect square. It factors to what, according to my formula? Not x minus 6.
No, x squared minus 6.
X squared, it factors to x squared minus 6 quantity squared.
Bring it up.
Oh, yep. Using this rule here, this formula. Again, I will provide these for you. Now you won't have to be able to do this. We're going to learn next is actually a method that you don't need to be able to recognize these perfect square trinomials. However, if you can, it will make your job a lot easier. Okay? And it's also just great practice for conceptualization. As you move into mathematics and college algebra next, you want to be able to have abstract concepts like formulas to be able to see that this thing has the same form as that. And that's really what we want to build up to in college algebra and calculus and things like that.